Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, let's see if that'll help. Waha! Let there be light. Today we have a WIP Chat. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and I will be working on my current WIP, which is Peony Elf from Carat.Art. The artist is Yaroslava Guskova. I hope I'm not butchering that, but I probably am. If you guys would like to see the unboxing for that one, I will leave that up in the eye. Anyway, but I will work on my current WIP, work in progress, as I mentioned, and you can pull out whatever it is that you are working on and work alongside with me. It can be another craft project, it can be a household project, it could be while you're driving, while you're at work, while you're doing the dishes, while you're meal prepping, while you're doing laundry, whatever it is that you want to be doing. There is no right way or wrong way to WIP and Chat. Just grabbing a bunch of colors here while I talk to you guys. I am adoring this kit immensely. I will tell you though, as somebody who hates confetti, this has a lot of confetti. Like a lot. We have 61 colors in this, and there are 9 ABs, so it's a little nutty. And the static on this was insane. Yeah, so I don't know why I just put this in this tray, because I picked a really small tray for something that has a lot of color in it. You know, we're just going to roll with it. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome back. So, as I mentioned, this is a new WIP since you all saw me last. I did finish the Crafties kit. Don't know where that came from. And I will leave the post review for that one up in the eye if you'd like to see it. How are you guys doing? I am doing pretty okay. It has been all sorts of hot here. Today is not awful. And it dropped back into like the upper 70s, low 80s. But holy crap, the other day it was like 90-something degrees. And it is too early in the year for it to be that hot in Pennsylvania. Seriously, you guys. There was something I wanted to tell you, and now I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all doing well. I am technically, this little chunk of time that I have here is like my little summer break, which lasted like 3 minutes because the kiddos' activities have already started. When you guys see this, if you're watching it like in current time, if you're new here, I have a 5-year-old, and we just graduated from preschool, whoop, whoop, and we are heading to kindergarten in the fall, and we have this tiny little window where we don't have 8,000 activities. It's very short-lived, though. You guys will hear all about that. Anywho, this past week feels like we've done a million things while simultaneously doing nothing. We have spent almost every day outside to some extent. We had to do a library run, which I'll go over in a second here, and I had to return and renew some books, so we got to get back to the library. But we've been doing a lot of, hey, we still have X amount of library books left, so let's try to read them while we're outside. My kid, anybody else have a kid like this? She doesn't like when she gets like food stuff on her, but give her dirt and she is rolling around in it all day. And I'm like, girl, how? Why? That's how she would say it. Anyway, I don't really remember where I left you guys off last week, so I'm just going to jump into it. I'm not sure if we did anything fun and exciting last Sunday, but last Monday was Memorial Day, and where's my other pen? I'm going to just use this right now. By the way, if you are new here, or even if you're not new here, you just may not know this or haven't recognized it, I don't ever talk about what pens I'm using or what trays I'm using or like any of my accessories unless I am doing like a small shop haul and I'm showing you guys. Oh, excuse me. So if you ever want to know what they are, just let me know down in the comment section. You can shoot me a DM, whatever it may be, because personally, and I know a lot of people do this, I don't find it enjoyable listening to somebody take 10 minutes of their WIP Chat telling me the pen and the wax and the tray and all that stuff. Like, to each their own. But for me, like, I'd rather use that first chunk of time to tell you guys about what I'm working on, or my week, or, you know, things like that. So anyway, that was a long tangent to just tell you, if you ever want to know, just ask. And in all honesty, I'm probably, like, I just coordinate my accessories usually for photos, and then I just use whatever is comfortable in my hand. Although, you guys probably already know, I'm friends with Kevin and Erica of Kevin's Creations, and they have this pen that I want, and I asked, is it a thicker pen or a thinner pen, and I was told there was a waiting list, and I said, oh, well, how do I get on the waiting list? And she's like, just tell me you want on the waiting list. So, I'm really excited. I can't wait to show you guys whenever that comes up. So, that was a super tangent. I'm a little all over the place. I have a lot going on in my head today. I'm tired. I've been up hella long already today. And I'm trying to figure out how to make filming work with my schedule that no longer consists of me having time dropping my kid off at school. However, the next 2 weeks, I think it is, my kiddo's got camp. And one of those camps is close enough that I can come home and actually record while she's at camp and then go back and pick her up. The other one, it's like 2.5 hours long, and it's like a half hour each way. So there's really no point in me dropping her off, coming home, and basically turning around and then going back and doing the same thing. So, you know, I'm going to be so bored. I should just waste time walking around the Target by myself. And that's total sarcasm if you guys can't tell, because I have not walked around a Target, like, aimlessly in a very, very long time. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that a lot. It's definitely not the same when you're with a tiny human who wants to look at the toys, or who wants to grab this, or we are coming here for something specific. And anyway, I am, like, how many minutes? 7, 8 minutes into this WIP Chat, and I've told you guys nothing about my week. Anyway, so Monday was Memorial Day. I can't remember if we ended up, I think we grilled. We don't have a grill anymore, but we made hot dogs and hamburgers for dinner. We keep saying we're going to get a new grill, and then we wait too long, and then we're in summer season, and they're not, like, on sale anymore. Because, like, before the season, like, way before the season, and, like, way after, grills go on sale. But we had one. I don't even remember what happened to it. It kind of just fell apart, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I am, like, are you guys, is this, like, a thing? Like, when school is over, the adult brain turns to mush as well? I have to tell you guys, I feel like every day I wake up and I have to prepare myself for, like, my kid. Not necessarily that my kid is home, because she's not going to be home that much. She's got a million activities. But I just have to prepare myself for every single day she's going to ask me if we can go outside. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen what I look like, but I'm really fair. Side note, I always wear a hat when I'm outside. And I try to stay in the shade as much as possible. And my daughter, in fact, let me know, hey, I told my teachers that mommy's a vampire. I was like, cool. Thanks so much. Where's my pen? I am making a note here. I probably shouldn't be writing while I'm recording, because I just totally stopped talking. Anyway, so we did, I told you guys, like, during the school year, especially the last couple months, my husband and I have been doing Friday morning breakfast after we drop our kid off at school. So we decided it was one of those days that, I think she actually slept in or something along those lines, because I thought it'd be a good idea. Why don't we all go get breakfast together? But it's a place where, like, it's very odd to me. And listen, I'm not here to stir the pot. But if you're at a restaurant and they serve breakfast till, I'm just making these up, 11:30, then the kids menu should also serve breakfast till 11:30. I don't know why, but they were different times for the kids menu and the adult menu. And I was like, I'm confused because it's the same food. It's not like you're making different eggs for kids than you are for adults. So yeah, so anyway, we took her to where we normally go on Friday mornings. We were hoping to see our regular waitress, and she was not there, which made me sad because she's not seen my daughter now in like years. Because we used to go to this place like pre-COVID, and then during COVID, they like jacked up their prices like insanely, except for their breakfast I find to be pretty reasonable, so we kept going for breakfast. But it was nice to include her on that, and she was very happy to be a part of it, and all of that fun stuff. And now I feel like maybe I should not have put on the flash, because I feel like this is really bright on my end. Anyway, I hope that you guys are doing well. I don't know if I even said that earlier, but we took her to breakfast, and we hung out outside a lot. I like to prop up, I've got like a camping chair, I guess, and I tell her, you tell me which direction you want to play, and that's where mommy's putting her chair. And I don't want to say I don't like to move around, but like, if I have a front yard and a side yard and the driveway, you want to play in the driveway, then mommy will face the chair in the driveway. I also have a backyard, but you can't see it from where we were sitting. And so she wanted to play like on the front side area. So I was like, cool, this is where it has the most land. It's the best for her to run around. Cool. Great. Fun times. And then next thing I know, she's like playing between the cars. And I'm like, Briar, I cannot see you when you're back there. This is why mommy told you, make sure you keep you tell me which direction you want to play in. Because I don't want to keep moving around. And I know, it makes me sound lazy, which, you know, maybe I am. But I just wanted to conserve my energy. And constantly having to rotate and change around, you know, when she's got more than enough area to play in. Like, if we're doing stuff in the driveway, I'll have the chair facing the driveway or on the driveway, and then she can color with chalk or whatever. We went through so much chalk this week, you guys. I am in fear for my chalk budget for the summer. Thankfully, when she graduated, her teachers gave her these little, like, gift bags, if you will. I don't want to call them gift bags, but, like, one teacher gave a piece of sidewalk chalk, and it had a cute little note on it. And then another teacher gave her another 2 pieces of sidewalk chalk that had a different note on it. And, you know, it was very cute. They probably just bought them in bulk and then separated them for the kids. Anyway, we did all that. Oh, total side note. If you guys watched the unhinged unboxing from Star.Art, I finally got a response, like, a month later. If you have not seen that video, fair warning, it is not professional. I am a complete disaster, and I don't know that I've ever laughed that hard in a video ever, but if you'd like to see that, I will link that up in the eye. They got back to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not ruining anything. Maybe I am. I don't know. But then you can skip the next minute and then come back. I was sent a diamond painting that I didn't purchase, and they never acknowledged that they sent the wrong diamond painting or any information as to what to do with said diamond painting. And then they just sent me the correct one without ever telling me what was going on and why I received a second one. And so they basically were like, just what I thought, like, you can keep it. Of course, the way they worded it, it was like they were sounding like they were doing me a favor, which I didn't want the canvas, but I knew it would cost more money to ship the canvas back to them than the value of the canvas itself. But yeah, they were like, as a measure of good faith, and I was like, okay. So, in case anyone's dying to know the resolution of that, there we go. These drills are so nice, you guys. I had somebody message me, and they were like, how are you enjoying this? And so far, you guys, this quality is top-notch. Listen. Okay. has anybody who is watching this video, have you or anybody you know done an actual return to DIY Moonshop? If you have, please, please, please message me. My email and my Instagram are all listed down below. I am looking for somebody who has actually done a full return. Not somebody who got the information for it, not somebody who thought about it, like somebody who's actually done it, because I have yet to find somebody, and I need to talk to somebody that's not affiliated with the company. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this week, you guys, I don't know what day it was, but this week I got so much filming done. I got like 6 videos done in the span of 2 days, I think. I did the post review. I did a couple unboxings. I have an unboxing of one of Nox's pieces coming up, which if you guys are watching this in current day, Nox's Punked Out Diamonds event is now running. I believe that ends July 15th. But check that out. I know it was more than just those unboxings and the post review. Maybe not. Maybe a WIP Chat was the other one. I don't know. Either way, lots of stuff, lots of content was filmed. But the DIY Moonshop stuff that I would like to share with you guys, I'm getting a little bit frustrated. There's multiple reasons why I'm getting frustrated. But the main reason that I'm getting frustrated is because they have like 4 or 5 ready to ship items available on their website, and that's it right now. And I did reach out to them. I reached out to them twofold. One, to be like, hey, is something going on with your website? Because I was trying to get the artwork for the videos that I filmed so I could use them for thumbnails and to put in the video and blah, blah, blah. And then the other one was to discuss something about one of my kits, which I'm not going to get into that here, but keep your eyes peeled because I will have a video about that whole thing. Anyway, super long story short, they wrote back to me and they said that, you know, we can't really say much, but yeah, we're working on our website. And I'm not sure what's going on because it's been almost a week since the initial time that I emailed them and it's still not up and running. They did, however, send me the images that I needed for the unboxing video. One of which was, like I said, for thumbnails, but the other one is I got a cropped version of an image, so I wanted the cropped and the full to show you guys the difference. But I don't know about you guys. I personally don't want to be publishing a video or 2 or 3 from a company that you can't make a purchase from, because it's not really fair. I mean, I guess I do that when I show like a discontinued canvas, but I let people know like this is discontinued. But I mean, I'm assuming that they're revamping their website and not like closing it down completely, because I feel like, I mean, I really wouldn't know. I'm not in the know, but you know, I don't want to just show you guys these canvases and say to go get them and then nobody can access them. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. And some of you are probably saying, Lindsay, you got a DIY Moonshop kit? I did. I actually purchased 3 DIY Moonshop kits on a 50% off sale, and I have thoughts. But that is not for this video. That is for a future video. 2 of the 3 videos are already, like, uploaded to YouTube and just sitting in my queue. And the 3rd video is, it's filmed. It hasn't been edited. And when I say edited, I mean, like, adding, like, the pictures and stuff like that. Like, I don't really do, like, real editing. Unless I have to, which is very, very rare that I have to, like, do something heavy-duty to it. But there's going to be an addendum. And I hate having to film videos like that because it makes me feel not great, usually. And very rarely am I filming an update because it's a super amazing, positive thing that I have to add. Sometimes it is, but in this case, it's not. So anyway, I'm going to move on from that. But the whole point was to tell you guys that Star Wars got back to me. I would like to point out that my daughter, we saw Little Mermaid last week, is still singing, like, her life depends on it, the entire soundtrack all day, every day. To the point that, like, now my husband is walking around singing it with her because that's all we hear. All day. Every day. Forever. Which, you know, it's cute. But So I really feel like I should not have turned on the flash, and now I feel like I can't turn it off because that'll be awkward. Anyway, have you guys, have I accomplished anything so far in this WIP Chat? Anyway, Tuesday we had no skating, so we had skating off last week and this week, and then the new TOTS lessons pick back up next week. But next week, my child won't be able to go to TOTS because she has camp, and then the following week, she also won't be able to go to TOTS because she also has camp. So we're actually going to make up the lessons on Monday nights, like all ages, before we even miss the class. But that's a little bit more chaotic because those usually have, especially like in the new session, you have a lot of people don't know where they're going. And like, to be honest with you, I don't know where we're going because we've never signed up for an all ages learn to skate. We've only ever done TOTS, but we did sign up with a second learn to skate, and this one is an all ages at a different rink on Thursdays, so that's coming up soon. So I will be at the ice rink 3+ days a week on top of my kiddo going to camp she has 3 different camps this summer. And it's funny because I said to her, I said, listen, I love you, kid, but if I hear I'm bored once this summer, I'm going to scream. And she's like, okay, mommy. And I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, you're doing more in 1 week than a lot of your friends are going to do all summer. And she thinks that I'm bullshitting her because she's 5 and doesn't really know how the world works. But, like, when I tell you guys at one point we're going to have 3 days of ice skating a week, plus the 3 weeks of camp that we have. 1 week is an aerial camp, 1 is a zoo camp, 1 is a skate camp. On top of that, you have the 3 lessons. You have ice skating, swimming, you have horseback riding, and we continue to do library visits, all of that. So that's just, the already scheduled events that we have for the summer. So I was like, girl, she also doesn't understand. She has to wait, like, till the end of August to start kindergarten because she keeps asking, which I think is super sweet. Also, shout out to me. I realized today we had a meeting with the school. I never registered my child for kindergarten. So I've got to do that, which is super fun. I'm hoping it's not going to be too much going on because we already have, like, her special ed paperwork taken care of and things like that. I already have the forms for the physical and the dentist and all that stuff. And my kid has an eye exam coming up. So we have, like, all sorts of paperwork for them. But they asked me today if I had requested AM or PM. And I just looked at them and I was like, I don't think so. And then I was like, did I register? Or do I just have that much going on that I thought I registered and didn't actually register? Because that is exactly what happened. So, like, if you guys just heard the amount of things I have going on to remember on top of it, to make sure that I get all the paperwork done, fill out all the registration, like, the mental load of being a caretaker of any sorts, like, it doesn't have to be, like, of your child. You could be the caretaker of another family member or a parent. It is a lot. And sometimes I wonder how, like, I have room in my brain for any other thoughts. But, and sometimes I don't feel like I do, but that's kind of what's going on. So, anyway, Tuesday we had no skating. I did buy a tattoo drawing from an artist that sells their art online for tattoos. It's a fine line tattoo of my birth flower, which is subsequently also my daughter's birth flower. And there's something about it. And at the very least, if I don't get it tattooed on me, at the very, very least, I supported an artist. And they were having a sale, and it was 50% off. And now I just have to find a tattoo artist in my area who specializes in those kinds of tattoos. Because I don't know anyone in this area. And the guy that, like, does, like, that has done my husband's tattoos, he's amazing. But his books are, like, booked up months and months in advance, and he's not super close, and he doesn't really, those are not, like, his style of tattoos. So I want to make sure that wherever I'm going, that's, like, their bread and butter. So I did a little bit of research, but I feel like more research needs to be done. Anyhow, guys, I am so far into this WIP Chat and talked about almost nothing. And then we did a PO run, post office run. It's funny. I feel like a lot of people who are small business owners forget when, like, it's a holiday, and because my husband was packing up stuff, and I was like, you know, the post office is closed tomorrow, and he's like, what? And I was like, Memorial Day. He's like, oh, right. But the last bank holiday, the same thing happened, and usually it's chaotic on Tuesday after that, but it wasn't. So, you know, maybe don't. I don't know. Am I, like, as all over the place as I feel like I am? Somebody let me know down below. You guys, my eye itches really bad. I know that's really nothing you guys really need to hear about, but I just felt the need to share for some reason. Where are we at? So, did we do anything else? Oh, yes. My daughter keeps turning her bed into a boat. Just because we watched The Little Mermaid, and I'm well aware of that. She keeps, like, tying... She sleeps in... We have a bed. It was a crib, and it's been converted. And it is a day bed right now. So it has, like, the railings... the sides are up high, and the headboard. And the front is open. And so she ties a blanket in the front of it. If I have a picture, I'll insert it here. Let me make a note of that. But... she's so funny when she's in there. She's just going on, and she turned it into a boat, and she's telling all these stories, and she's having the best time. And I think that this started the day we saw The Little Mermaid, and it is now a week and a half later, and she's still doing that. And she's talking about how today it's her cruise ship, not just a boat. And I was like, oh, okay. But she's just cracking me up, you guys. There was a point to me telling you this, and now I don't remember what it was. And my little scatterbrain probably won't remember. And then we had to go to Walmart. I needed to get dryer sheets. I got dryer sheets and static spray. The static on this kit while kitting up was unreal. Like, sticking to your fingers, like crawling up your hands level unreal. And I was not having it, and I had dryer sheets that I want to say I got them from my mom, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I brought them home, like 2 dryer sheets. You know, I don't need a whole, well, I said I didn't need a whole box. Well, we went to the store, and I needed to get some, because I was like, I don't know where they went, and I'm tired of doing this every time I have a staticky kit, which I am noticing. I don't know how it works, but I feel like when it's hot out, they're even worse. I don't know if it's just because they're, like, dying to get out of the plastic, or I don't know. I am not a scientist, but, so every time I walk upstairs, and when I tell you guys our 3rd floor, which if you didn't know, I work on the 3rd floor, my husband works on the 3rd floor, and, like, we live on the other floors, so nothing else is up here except for our crafting spaces, and like, I shit you not, you guys, when you come up the stairs, you get halfway up the stairs to the 3rd floor, it just hits you like a brick wall of how hot it is. So I walked in here the other day, and I was like, it feels like I just walked into a laundromat. It is so hot, and smells like dryer sheets. I bought the cheapest dryer sheets I could find, which were the Walmart brand, and oh my god, they smell so strong. Like, I am not a fan of lavender kind of scents, like floral, like that kind of floral. They just kind of give me a headache, and I probably should have thought about that. I think it's labeled as fresh linen, which I can tell you, it does not smell like fresh linen. It smells like, I'm trapped in an elevator with an elderly woman who has worn half a bottle of perfume. Like, it is strong. And I mean no harm by that to anybody who fits that description that's watching this video. I am sensitive to scents, and things like that are just, like, overwhelming to me. But we had to make that run, and I was like, I don't want to buy them off of Amazon. So I ended up just buying, like, the $1.98 box of dryer sheets. I feel like it's a really long roundabout way to tell you guys what I'm up to. And then we ended up, there's a new acai place. It's actually close to like where my mother-in-law lives. So it's about a half hour from us. And we went, and for me and my husband, this is something that we enjoy doing. If you guys have never had an acai bowl, they're smoothie bowls, basically. And you can have multiple bases, but the original is an acai berry puree. So it's almost like sherbet in texture, and it's delicious, and it's refreshing, and it's really good on a hot day when you're looking for a really light meal. I am one of those people, let me know if you guys are like this or not. When it gets really hot out, I have trouble with, like, heavier meals. I just, as much as, like, heavy meals are comfort food. And don't get me wrong, I still like comfort food no matter how hot or cold it is. But I can't be eating a lot of the foods that we eat all winter long over the summer. They just make me feel, everything just feels weighted down. And so I was like, oh, you know what? And so we decided to go down there and get some dinner. Briar ate the entire bowl, which I was shocked by. I am pretty sure that we are in yet another growth spurt, you guys. Pray for me. If this child shoots up another, like, inch or two, I don't know what I'm going to do about pants in the fall. And, like, I am not over-exaggerating. She's, like, 44 inches tall right now, which doesn't seem ridiculously tall, but when you realize that she is about 5T in length for clothing, but like 3T for waist in clothing, if she needs to go up to a 6, I will not, even an adjustable waist will still be too big in the waist for her. So, you know, it's a little nerve-wracking. Over the summer, it's fine, because she can rock shorts, and I don't care if the shorts are too short, because she's 5, and they're shorts, and they're not meant to be, you know, these things. But, you know, you can't walk around school with pants that are flood length all winter long. Like, they gotta be enough to keep her warm. Not that she cares. And also, one of my tips and tricks, you guys are more than welcome to use this. If pants are too short, I usually throw on a pair of, like, higher socks and, like, scrunch them over the top of the pants and throw on a pair of combat boots. And then it looks like you would never know that those pants are 3 inches too short or whatever they are. So you're welcome. It's funny, I was in a Facebook group and somebody said the look they hate the most is scrunched socks over pants. And I was like, whoops. And then she was like, oh, I didn't mean for, like, kids. I meant for adults. I think it's tacky on adults. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, obviously I didn't let the opinion of a stranger talking about her preferred fashion sense to bother me. I miscalculated that one. Boop, boop. Oh, you guys, so these are really, just in case you're curious, these are really snug squares, which give that really satisfying crunch when you push them together. But it also makes me worry that, like, if I were to put this away for an extended period of time and come back, that drills might pop. But we'll see. So far, I've had no issues with that. And the drill quality is, like, stunning. Like, look at just how beautiful this is. And it's, like, full of ABs. And if you're just listening and you're not watching, that's cool, too. You can totally see all of my progress. I post daily progress reports on my Instagram stories. And then I always post a finished photo there. And then I do a post review on here. And I would love if you guys checked all of that out. And if you don't want to check any of it out, that's cool too. Thanks for being here. But anyway, I got so sidetracked. Oh, and then, so we called my mother-in-law because we were right by her house. And we were going to swing by and say hi afterwards, but she didn't answer the phone. So we were like, all right, let's just go to Target. There's a Target right there. And my friend, who has 2 kiddos. One is going to be in kindergarten with Briar, and the other one is younger. She had posted something about these $3 2-pack water bottles, and the one has Spidey and His Amazing Friends on it. If you guys don't know, Briar doesn't get, like, TV, like, regular TV. She gets one episode of TV before bed, sometimes, not even all the time. And right now, the thing that she's super into is Spidey and His Amazing Friends. If you don't know what that is, it is Spider-Man. And then some of the characters from, like, Into the Universe, or whatever it's called, Marvelverse, Spider-Verse, whatever. So it has Gwen, Miles, Spidey, or Peter Parker, and it's all them as kids, but so are the villains. All of the villains are kids, all of the other characters are kids, so she's super into it. So they had this 2-pack that had Spidey, Ghost Spider, and whatever Miles' character's name, I'm just blanking on it. And it was these 2-packs of water bottles for $3 for 2 water bottles. And I was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna get that. If you guys didn't know, my daughter dyed her hair for school graduation, and the reason her hair was pink was for Gwen, which is Ghost Spider, and green was for Electro, which is one of the bad guys. And so that's why my child had chosen green and pink for her hair. So yeah, she's super excited. My husband said something about maybe taking her to see the new Spidey movie, which is now out. If you guys have seen it, let me know if you liked it or what you thought of it, or, you know, anyway. So, guys, if you are sticking in to this video, you guys are the real MVPs, because I feel so all over the place. But my mother-in-law did not get back to us until we were like a couple minutes away from home, and we weren't upset because, you know, she didn't know we were in town, and it just was, we were just going to swing by if she was, and she was not around. So, the next day was Wednesday, so we had our first swim lesson of the season, and it's just a woman who teaches swim lessons out of her pool, but I believe she was a competitive swimmer, and she's got like tons of years of swim experience and lifeguarding and instruction under her belt. And we walk up and we see a little buddy of ours, and I didn't know that they were taking lessons there. She didn't know we were taking lessons there, and it was just really nice to see them. And I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm hoping that my daughter will be able to, the goal is to swim the length of the pool by the end of the season. She wants to jump off the diving board, and you have to be able to swim the length of the pool. I don't know if I am wishful thinking that she'll be able to get to that point or not. But I grew up like in the water. I could swim like before I could walk. My parents had a pool, so that helped. And for so long, I tried to get Briar into swim lessons, but we live in an area where there's not a whole lot of swim lesson options. And then the ones that do exist, like the one at the local college used to fill up so quickly. And then they took that pool out, and they are now using it for, it's on a college campus. They're using it for college purposes. And all these people in the area, like, were in an uproar about it. And it's like, it's college campus. Like, they're allowed to use it for college purposes. You guys are lucky that they used it for public purposes in the first place. I guess people didn't appreciate that answer, though, because it's like the end of the world. But anyway, so she started taking lessons with this woman last summer, and she did really well, but we're not there yet. But my daughter is big enough this year, she was not last year, to actually have a Coast Guard approved life vest for when we are swimming not in our lessons. So if we go to a hotel, or we go to the swimming pool, or a beach, or whatever, she has, sorry, that drill was concave and then got stuck in my nail, because life. It's funny, I can hear her, she's downstairs, and my husband's in our room, so I left the monitor down there with him, and I can just hear her running around, like really, really running around, not just like playing. Anyway, so after that we went to Trader Joe's. We had not been to Trader Joe's. We've been trying to go for like a month to just restock on some of our snacks. If you guys don't know, we are completely artificial color free, and they've got some really good dye free snacks. Sorry, the camera is kind of low. Where did that just drop to? Because of how far over I'm working. I could be using tweezers right now, but I'm not. But that drill did not fit there because there was a tab on it. And that's what was just happening in case anyone was actually watching. Anywho, so that was nice. We got some snacks. Of course, some of the things that we love were out of stock, which made me sad. Come on. Alright, where did my tweezers? Oh, hello, tweezers. Where are you at? Which one of you has a tab and won't let me? Not you. This is like dissecting the canvas with Lindsay. Yep, there we go. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. There's like a teeny tiny little tab. Which normally I am not the kind of person, like I don't pick out my drills unless they are like the concave ones because those don't stay on the canvas. But with these, because of how snug they are, like they just push everything out and I don't want to deal with popping drills. So, and then after we went to Trader Joe's, we had some more outdoor play. You guys, this kid, I don't know, maybe I was like this as a kid and I don't remember, but she just like relishes in the sun. She's like a lizard and just wants to like lay out there and just get warm and have fun and be out there for hours at a time. And I am the complete opposite. I'm like, it's hot, I'm sweaty, I'm gross, it's hard to breathe, I don't like it out here. Meanwhile, she's like, yay, this is my tree. Then I wonder, how are we related, child? How are we related? There's a huge pile of sticks and stones in our yard right now from her outdoor play. And I told her she's allowed to play with them right now, but like when Daddy has to mow the yard, we have to move it out of the way because they'll get run over by the mower. They'll break the mower. We don't want it to hurt Daddy, things like that. And so she put this giant tree branch that she ripped off the tree, which I was not super happy about, and put it right by the walkway. And then it stormed and my husband had to take trash out or something. And it fell right like where he walks and it still ended up hitting him. And I was like, cool, kid, like your one rule was don't leave it where Daddy's going to step on it. And, I mean, in defense, she didn't leave it there. It just fell there. But it was in an area it shouldn't have been. Did I miss any of this color? Or are we done? Do you guys see any 8s? Let me know. 8 is great. The other side of this canvas, like down in the corner, I did a section. There are 61 colors in this canvas, as I mentioned. And, like, I'm not even exaggerating. 58 of the 61 colors were in this one section. I was like, oh, I don't know how you confetti people do it. How do you do it? How do you enjoy it? I don't enjoy it, but I'm enjoying the way this looks. So, there we go. But every container except for some of the ABs has dryer sheets in them. Like this one has 2 dryer sheets in it. Why? I don't know, because it was probably really staticky. More staticky than the rest. I don't know. Did I put the color away? No, I didn't. You guys, I'm like talking to myself while talking to you, which is probably confusing. But you guys are all welcome here. Welcome to my shit show. Thursday. Thursday was a very, very hard day for me. So, Thursday was a day where to say I was overwhelmed and overstimulated doesn't even do justice to how difficult Thursday was. So, I was wearing these sandals I have, just like rubber sandals, nothing special. They look like fake Birkenstocks. Fakenstocks, if you will. They're the Target ones. Anyway, I've been wearing these sandals, or a newer version of them, for the last couple summers. I really like them. I find them comfortable. They can be worn at the pool. Anyway, super long story short, we went to Sheetz, which is a gas station convenience store. And we were going to head to my father-in-law's, and I wanted to grab some coffee, but there's no, like, Dunkin' or anything like that on the way to my father-in-law's. So, we had to stop at Sheetz for something anyway, and I was like, perfect, I'll grab some coffee. I know why we had to stop at Sheetz. We got a cooler for the car, like a drink cooler, not like a tub cooler, like one of the ones that like you would find at a sporting event. You just push the spigot and the water comes out. Anyway, so we wanted to get a big bag of ice to put in that, and we have this. It's now in the back of our trunk, And it's there for, like, hot days when we're running around or when my kid has a million activities. And, you know, sometimes you're not in a place where you have access to water fountains to drink out of or refill your water bottles. So we just have this in the trunk now. So my husband got the ice, we got a jug of water, and I got my coffee. Now, something happened with the coffee creamer. The coffee creamer was, like, sticky on the floor. Somehow it got onto my shoe and in between my toes. And no matter what I did, I could not clean my foot off. I could not get it off my shoe. And if you have ever dealt with any sort of, like, sensory overload, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, and you've ever seen somebody go into, like, complete meltdown mode and you don't understand, I'm going to do my best to explain this to you guys. It was one of those things that the feeling of it was making my skin crawl. And the fact that I could not clean it off my foot and my shoe, like, nothing I was doing was working. And it felt like my mind was spiraling and I could not get past it. Like, my husband's like, just don't worry about it. And I'm like, if it was that easy, if I could just be like, stop worrying about this, then I would have stopped worrying about it. But it was literally all I could think of. And it was just my whole body, every synapse was firing. Just everything was heightened. Every sound was irritating me. Every scent was irritating me. Lights were, like, everything was just making my body shut down. And my mind was racing and I couldn't get it to slow down and I couldn't get it to stop. And I was completely overwhelmed. And I was, like, so, like, I was really, to say I was overwhelmed was a really generous understatement. It was, like, unbearable. And then I got back to the car and I had a major tantrum about it because it's all I could think about. And I said to Brian, just take me home. Just take Briar to your dad's, just take me home. And I was ready to be done for the day. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go inside and I'm going to try to clean my shoe and I'm going to try to clean my foot, like, in the comfort of my own home. I have soap, I have water, I have paper towels. It's not just me using, like, a leftover Dunkin' Donuts napkin with, like, water poured out from my cup kind of thing. And in that moment, I could not clean my shoe. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I have this shoe in other colors, and I just grabbed a different pair of the sandals. And I slid my foot in, and the sandal felt fine. And I was like, okay, I can finally move past this. If I was going right to my father-in-law's and not going home, I guarantee you this is something that I would not have been able to just move past. Like, it would have been stuck and in repeat mode, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it except for spiral further and further. So I felt a lot better that, like, we were at his dad's house and I was feeling much better, and then we went to lunch. Okay. So I know that the situation that happened was not in control of the waitress. And I've had too many situations happen like this to me recently for me to just be like, oh, well, I understand this is a kitchen thing and move on. If you work in a kitchen, this is not directed towards you. So, I don't like flabby bacon. I don't like rubbery bacon. I like my bacon very well done. Not just well done, very well done. Like, if you touch it and it shatters, that's the level of crispiness I want. You throw it in a deep fryer, like, that's the level of crispiness I want. I don't need deep fried bacon, but I've had that happen to me where they just throw it into the deep fryer to make it crispier, or one restaurant keeps throwing it into the microwave to make it crispier. Anyway, I ordered, I don't even remember what I had. Oh, I ordered an omelet, and I asked, I got a Western omelet, and I asked, can I do bacon instead of the sausage? And she said yes. And I said, okay, can I get that bacon very well done? Like, very, very well done. She said, yeah, okay. So, my food comes out. Now, mind you, I'm already heightened because of what had happened with my foot and my shoe earlier. And this is all the same day. So, I sit down, and they bring it over, and I take one bite. And when I tell you guys, like, I wouldn't even call this, like, done bacon. Like, it was fatty and chewy and rubbery, and it didn't even look like it was cooked all the way, and I was like, no. Mm-mm. But because it was in my omelet, they had to remake the omelet, and I was like, I feel like I'm being difficult here. I just want the food made how I'm ordering it, which I don't think is something that is out of line or over the top. Like, I just wanted well done bacon. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And mind you, this is a waitress who, like my husband said, she's been at this restaurant for a very, very long time. She's one of those women who, like, she hovers. She doesn't go away. Like, she doesn't say, oh, how's your food? Great. Okay, bye. She, like, stands there and, like, has her hand on your shoulder, which, like, I don't want you touching me. And I am not somebody who is opposed to touch. Like, I love, like, when I'm around my friends, like, I'm a hugger. But I don't want strangers touching me, especially with me not saying, go ahead, you have permission to touch me. And she was just, like, hovering. And so then I went to take a bite of the remade omelet, and the eggs smelled rancid. And I was done. I was like, you could just take the plate. I didn't want anything else to eat. I'm one of those people that when there's something gross with my food or anything like that, that I can't just move past that and eat something else. Like, I was done. And this was, I couldn't even tell you how many times in the last month I've had issues where the food is not what I've ordered. They ran out or didn't have what I wanted. They're not preparing it the way that, like, and it makes me sound like I'm such a diva and I'm very, like, particular, and I don't think I am at all. But one of my biggest, like, sensory triggers is food. So if I want bacon well done and you give me gross, flabby, fatty, undercooked bacon, I'm not going to go, yeah, this is fine, I'll eat it. I'll take it out of my food or not eat it. But in this case, the eggs also smelled like they were bad, and I was like, I can't, I'm done. And pair that with the whole situation with my shoe and the coffee creamer, I was like, stick a fork in me. I'm done. This is a day I just wanted to go home and cry and everything. And I felt terrible because Brian, we took our daughter right from lunch to her horseback riding lesson, which, fine. And he actually dropped me off and went and took care of the staple stuff while I stayed at the lesson with her. So when he came to pick us up, he's like, I want to take you wherever you want to go for dinner because you had a really bad experience with lunch. And that's super, super awesome, and I really appreciated it. But in that moment, and the headspace that I was in, I was like, I don't want to go somewhere that I love and have a less than stellar meal and just feel these kinds of feelings towards a restaurant I love. And, like, I really wanted, like, I was thinking, he's like, well, I could take you to the crab place, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this, like, quite a few times. I love going to the crab place. It's a place that does, like, crab boils, and I love it there. The only problem is that I share with my daughter, so by the time I get to eat anything, because I'm cracking all of the crab claws for her and taking out all the meat, like, I don't get to sit there and enjoy it. And it's one of those things that, like, I love the food, but then I feel like I'm rushed to eat because now my daughter's done and she wants to be done and go. But it's like, girl, I haven't even had a chance to eat. And then she sits there and she's like, Mommy, can I have more? Mommy, can I have another bite? And it's like, girl, I got 1.5 pounds of crab legs and I'd like to eat mine. The one time I swear she ate more than I did. And I was like, I don't want to pay for another 1/2 pound of crab legs because that's expensive. You know what I mean? Like, girl, can you fill up on the potato instead? Anyway, so that was just a really, like, hard day. And a lot of times when I have those kinds of days, like, my body just shuts down. My brain is overloaded and my body is just, like, I feel it physically, and it's kind of like a hangover that you have to sleep off. Like, it's hard to explain if you've never felt like that. But if you've ever seen somebody have a meltdown, and I don't mean a temper tantrum, like a meltdown, where things are, like, completely out of control, like, I'm not freaking out and sending myself into a tizzy. Like, my body is just having all of these things happening. It is physically and emotionally draining, and I don't wish that upon anybody. But that's one of the joys of being a neurodivergent human being, that I deal with things like this. When people talk about being ADHD as like, oh, you're so easily distracted and you're so hyper and blah, blah, blah. Like, this is one of the things like that isn't widely discussed. At least, I mean, with social media platforms it is now, but it wasn't when I was diagnosed 35 years ago. And, it's a lot. And, yeah. So, the next day was Friday. We now switched our private lessons from public skate ice to freestyle ice. Now, freestyle, the difference between freestyle and public skate is open to the public, and you are not allowed to do certain skills or moves at public skate. So, I don't know what the exact rules are at our rink because my daughter is still in one of the basic levels, but for a lot of people, they can't do moves where your blade is above your hip. So they can't do certain spins or jumps, things like that. Because it's just meant for people to like skate around and have fun. Whereas freestyle ice is the ice that is dedicated for people who are working on skills or training for hours on end. And this was our first time doing a lesson at freestyle. Well, we did one once before as a makeup, but this is our new time slot. So we did that, and it was really great. My daughter did a really good job. It took her a few minutes to get into it, but when she looked around, and you have two frames of mind when you're doing something like this. You have the, wow, everybody is so much better than me. Or, wow, look at what everybody else can do. I want to do that one day. And I was praying that's how her reaction would be, and it was. And it was really wonderful to see. And she loved seeing there were people working on different jumps and a couple people working on programs and routines and different skills. And she doesn't get to see those kinds of skills when we go to public skate. And at public skate, people are always fawning all over her because she's this little kid who actually knows how to ice skate. And most people at public skate don't really know how to skate, and if they do, it's not more than, like, let me skate a couple laps around the ice. So it was really cool. And then immediately afterwards, her preschool teachers organized this thing. There is a farm near-ish us that you can go and you can feed the animals. You can get farm fresh ice cream, and they have, like, a big playground. And it was a way to make it seem less final for these kids, that this is the last time they're going to see their classmates at graduation. And it was really, really nice to be able to go to this event and play with some of our friends and hang out and get some ice cream. But unfortunately, because we were coming from the ice skating rink, we had too much time to just go and sit there, but not enough time to go home and do something else. So we went there and just sat in the parking lot for a little bit, and then finally was like, well, I guess we're just gonna have ice cream for dinner, which we did. And then Briar played on the playground for a very long time, and she had a lovely time, and she really, really enjoyed it. And I'm really glad that the teachers organized that. It was really nice to see. I wish I had contact information for the other parents, because, you know, my daughter keeps asking, is so-and-so going to go to school with me next year? And I'm like, I don't know. Some of these kids are in the same school district as her, some are not, but where we live, we have half-day kindergarten, so even if they go to the same school, they could have kindergarten the opposite time of day, and then she'll never see them. So I made this little, like, business card, basically, in Canva, that had ways to contact me, and it was like, hi, I'm Briar's mom. And I'm a little bit disappointed. The teacher sent it out, and I said, you know, my kiddo loves play dates, and she wants to hang out with your kids. You know, shoot me a text or an email, because I know most people don't want to call. And nobody has contacted me, and it sucks because, like, I don't have a way to contact any of the other parents. And I don't know if that's, like, normal or typical, but I feel like we just don't know any of the other families, even though they've been in school all year together. But the next day we went to Home Depot for one of their little craft days, whatever I don't know what they're called. and she made a putting green. She really enjoyed that. Got her little apron. It was so cute, you guys. I've never done it. I've always wanted to. But if you guys have a small child or a grandchild, totally do it. It's totally free. It's free to sign up for. It's first come, first serve. And it's the first Saturday of every month at Home Depot. And then, did we do anything else after that? Oh, we just had some lunch and then we went out. And this is a really good place to leave you guys. I don't think we did anything on Sunday, but that's it. If you guys hung in all the way, you have no idea how much I appreciate it. Leave me like a spiderweb emoji because we were talking about Spider-Man earlier. But I'm going to get out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!